What's up, everybody? Sup, Rebecca and Carrie?
Sup, Matthew? Sup, Carrie?
Oh.
Yeah, how you guys feeling today? Here, or here?
Feeling
thumbs up across the board.
Yeah. How about you, Matthew? Here, here. You've had a busy day.
A little bit, but I'm here. I got some coffee, and I'm feeling pretty juiced up right now, so I'm ready to go.
Ooh, well, let me see that mug. What is that mug? That looks like it might have a PAC logo on it.
Yeah. Oh, and even better, watch this. Oh, look at that.
Oh, how
So
cool.
fancy.
Very fancy. Very fancy. So I'm curious, you guys, what with today, right? And just how things are rolling out. Like they just had a release, the CDC starting to loosen up on some of those restrictions when it comes to mask and social distancing in skilled nursing environments and nursing homes. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty jazzed. I'm ready to kind of acknowledge the excitement in the air about that. How about you guys?
Yes.
Absolutely. Super excited. Now I've got one vaccine to go. How about you guys?
Me too. One more.
Totally vaccinated.
And on Friday.
Me too, Catherine.
And I'm lucky. I've been all completed because I was still working in a healthcare facility when they started rolling it out. So I've been completed for a while, unless they require a third shot. Then I got to go get that.
I think we're going to have to get boosters next year, but that's okay. I can do that. Nothing worse than a flu shot.
You got it. Yeah. And so that kind of goes into that whole piece of acknowledging the things that we're going to have to do to keep up with this, so this doesn't take off again like it was. And speaking of acknowledge, I have something with me. Those in the moment support cards that we've been talking about at the start of all of our sessions together, our SUP episodes. And so I was curious, you guys want to hear the one I grabbed today?
Yes, please.
When life hands you a lemon, it's okay not to make lemonade right now.
Wow, I love that, because I think a lot of times, we go to those sayings and quotes, and it's like, well, I don't want to make lemonade. Maybe I don't even like the way lemonade tastes. Or maybe I just, like you said, I don't want it right now.
Yeah, and that's
So
okay.
what a great acknowledgement that I could have the lemons and not be ready to make the lemonade just yet.
Or I've been making the lemonade so much this past damn year. I got so many lemons. I'm sick of lemonade.
There could be that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, Catherine. Thanks for adding that. One way to make lemons, I know, or lemonade with some lemons, is using this time. A lot of folks have used this time to come to some of our virtual courses. And Carrie, I know you've got some information to share about upcoming events.
Yeah. Let me get this screen shared. So many things. So definitely, we love all of your viewers out there. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. We've got Tipa and the 11-5 crew on Facebook, and then us on YouTube each week. This week we've got Cathy Hanlon, who's going to talk tonight, and next week we've got Allie Groves and Catherine Winter at Carleton Senior Living. Another thing we're going to go over tonight is the consultant certificate, the next one coming up May 4th through 6th. And we also got a master class coming up in June. So check those things out on our tipasnow.com website. You can practice and learn your skill, connect and get support from us, and subscribe to the ODJ, Tipa's clips, and other dementia education that we have available. Those live at 5. Yesterday they did the Spanish live at 5. Did you guys happen to catch that? Alejandro does a Spanish version the last Monday of the month. So check that out on Facebook and TIPA. TIPA's been looking at change and goals last week. So lots of good stuff out there, lots of free stuff.
Yeah, and this week with TIPA for 10, we're going over the environment and recognizing different objects or obstacles for the different gem states and how they could be annoying or risky or maybe dangerous. So we're going with that this week. So tune in for those as well, because TIPA always has a lot of great stuff to share when it comes to all of that. So look forward to seeing you guys there. Carrie, anything else to share, or are we?
I think that's what I got on our housekeeping. So thanks.
And look how good of a job I'm doing at holding my mouth when you talked about gems, because you know what I want to say right now, guys, right? Is there something happening in November? Maybe you might have gotten something in your email today about all gems can shine.
Yeah.
So to come, you're going to be seeing some pictures. Our friend Cathy has already sent her pictures in of herself with her PAC conference. Oh, Catherine, thank you. And your swag and your all gems can shine window cling. And don't use it yet. Don't use it yet, but the tattoo. We are going to have so much fun with these PAC tattoos this year. And I see Carrie was using her pen, or someone was using their pen. I've had to hide my pen because this is actually a really good pen. And I love the way it writes. And I'm not just saying that because I'm kind of like a pen nerd. And it's not just because it's PAC, but I really actually like this pen. And I'm afraid it's going to run out of ink before November. So I've hidden it under all my highlighters. So I had to dig it out. Catherine's laughing at me. Those of you that know me know the highlighter situation. It's real. The struggle is real. So I think someone else better take over the conversation because now I'm blushing. I'm embarrassed.
She's going into the highlighters. So, oh yeah, look at what Catherine's. She's got the highlighter wheel. So, doing an acknowledgement got us started here, and Carrie gave us a hint of what we're going to go into next. So, I want to acknowledge this whole consultant certification course coming up, and to do that, I really need some help. And I think the help I need is Teffy. Hey, Teffy, it's Matthew.
Hey, Matthew.
Teffy, welcome back to SUP. You're going to be a regular before we know it.
Oh, easy now. This is late for me, y'all.
I know. I'm going to have to like send you some beaver nuggets or something like that, which beaver nuggets are a treat. It does not sound anything like what I'm saying. It is a treat. It's something good. It's like caramel and popcorn and all sorts of good stuff. So anyway, that being said, Teffy, so consultant course. Before we get into that, and again, knowing you've been on here before, could you give us just a quick, who is Teffy and what does Teffy do for PAC? So if there's somebody new watching.
Yeah, so I am events. I mostly do certifications for our company, for PAC.
Yeah, so you get to oversee events and certifications. Oh my gosh, I've seen the calendar and I know more gets added. Wow, that is a lot to juggle. So you have a big job when it comes to all of these things going on in PAC and how they get sent to public folks and all of that good stuff. So I'm glad it's you.
Thanks. It can seem like a big job, but the reality is I have an amazing team that help do all the things and bring it all together. So it's not all on me.
Yeah, so like everything we say in PAC, team, it's not about the lone wolf. It's about a team approach and everybody coming together to support. And speaking about teams, PAC has these certifications and almost like creating a team. If you look at it, the way a trainer cert and the trainer skills are set up, and then the coach cert and the way the coach skills are set up, and the consultant as well, and how they can make such a great team together, especially providing some support and care and training for folks in a community. And so I'm curious, how did PAC come up with this consultant cert?
Yeah, that is a great question. And actually, I'm going to share a visual that we use quite a bit in our certification programs. So you'll see here, to explain consultant, I really actually need to go back in history a little bit. So sorry, Matthew, I might get a little long-winded. But certifications actually started with trainer, and trainers bring the knowledge to a large group. And then we realized, you know what? Oh, we need some coaches too. We need somebody on the floor, in the space with everybody and going, well, let's try this. Ooh, that worked. Or that didn't go so well. Let's try something different. Then we noticed that we needed consultants, because the consultants get the question of, well, what about this? How do you fix that? And I'm going to leave it there with air quotes around fix. But the other thing I want to point out is, see how trainer and coach kind of overlap, and then coach and consultant kind of overlap? If this were a 3D image, so an actual sphere instead of a 2D flat image, consultant and trainer would overlap. So that idea of working with a team is really how consultant came about.
Wow, that is so cool. And it's awesome that PAC was able to recognize, as time went on and as they tried these different things, the need for other certifications or ways to break out some of these pieces that they might have already been using and giving to folks in the trainer cert, but noticed, ooh, really, this is like a whole nother person. This is really a whole nother role. So we need to do something with that. And so when they recognized that, they obviously saw a set of skills that went with this. And I'm curious, what are those skills that you learn when it comes to the consultant certification?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked, because I said fix, and that's you don't use that word as a consultant, as a PAC consultant. When somebody needs a consultant, they think, I need a fix for this, for X, for blah. And what a PAC consultant does is they get curious and they ask questions and they explore and they really seek and dig in and come up with two options for me to then empower you with the choice that's a good fit.
Yeah, so noticing something and coming up with two options, a choice of this or that. And I'm curious, what's something that they use when it comes to giving those choices? Because sometimes, choices could potentially be broad, but is there something that helps those consultants really get down to what they need to help somebody in that moment, or to give them that focus of some areas that they could have a choice of?
Yeah, I can think of two tools that work really well for a consultant. There's multiple tools out there, but one tool is the consultant cycle, is working with somebody to explore those ideas and then looking at the 6 pieces of the puzzle, so that you're really digging into what will be a good fit for that particular person that you're caring for.
Yeah, that is so awesome. So there are these tools that come with it as well. You receive these skills, this way to really help support somebody and to empower them in that moment by giving them choices. And you have tools to go back on, things to help give them visuals to look at and to really come down to what it is that they're going to try differently. Because, man, I could think of folks in situations where there's just so much going on and so many things that they would like to do something about. And boy, just like a computer, if you click on it too many times and you're trying to download a million things and work on a million things, boy, that computer bogs up. It sometimes just shuts down. But getting down to that one thing that you're wanting to work on and having a choice of this or that really helps to get something moving in the right direction. And so that's so cool that that comes with that consultant certification. So looking at someone who uses these skills, where would they go essentially, or where would be some of the best places for someone who does get a consultant cert? So if somebody was interested, where would they go to use these skills?
Go to use them or go to get them to become a consultant?
So if they get the skills and they have the tools and say they get certified and they're ready, where could they go? What could they do with those skills and those new tools?
Yeah, so there's a lot of areas that really you can go anywhere. I used consultant skills as an occupational therapy assistant and a director of rehab. I've seen folks use it outside of the clinical setting with kids. I've definitely used it with my family. Shh, don't tell them I'm doing that. But all over the place.
Yeah, that is so cool. We've had consultants on our course who've come out and shared about their certification and given us a lot of information on some things that they've done. So definitely go check them out. Go check those old SUP episodes out, because we've got some great examples of some things you guys could do with those consultant skills and tools that come with that certification. So we already talked about when the next one is. We know it's coming up, but I'm curious, how many are left this year? So if somebody can't make it to this one, say they're interested, they're ready to do this, and they can't make it to this next one, how many other chances do they have this year?
So there's the one coming up, and then there's 3 more this year.
Awesome. So 3 more left. So if you can't make it to this one, we definitely want to see, and if you're interested, we'd love to see you guys sign up for one of those other 3 so you can get in before the end of the year, because, oh my gosh, like Teffy said, you could use this everywhere. It's like that commercial, you can use this on anything. It is, it's amazing, and the skills that come with that. So Teffy, if I was ready to sign up right now, where would I go to sign up?
Great question. So if you are ready to sign up right now, head to our consultant page and scroll down to the bottom. So the way I got here was through certifications and then consultant. And you scroll down to the bottom of the page, we have all of the consultant events for the rest of the year listed. And if you're not sure yet, if you need a little bit more detail than what I provided, at the top of the page is a lot more detail about the consultant course as well.
Very cool. Well, Teffy, thank you so much again for coming on and sharing all this awesome information about one of our amazing certifications. It's always a pleasure to have you on. I cannot say thank you enough, and I really appreciate everything that you do.
Oh, well, thank you guys. And I enjoy being on.
So, you know, speaking of certifications and people doing amazing things out there, I'm curious, Rebecca, we have somebody on tonight who's going to share some amazing things they're doing out there with their certification.
We do, Matthew. And I'm just thinking, you have been wanting to use that line. You can use that on anything.
It's so true. It's so true.
For weeks. And it kind of made me think, you know, how sometimes, so we're thinking of like that Frank's red, whatever, that hot sauce. I love it. I do put it on everything. It's just the perfect catchphrase. And it's so true, because PAC, you know, a few weeks ago, we had an elder law attorney. We've got family members who have come for certification. We have so many folks who use these skills And then go into that kind of hot sauce tasting. Maybe I'm making a stretch. This is again, maybe a scary sight into the way my brain thinks, but like, you know how there's competitions for hot sauce and there's like, ooh, the hottest or like the most flavorful or whatever. Well, our guest tonight, Cathy Hamlin, has won a pretty big award recently. So Cathy, welcome to SUP. Thank you for being here. Give a little wave to our viewers.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
And Cathy, we actually heard about you through our dear friend and mentor, Catherine Quinlan, who said, you have got to find time to connect with Cathy and get her on SUP. And so we connected at the end of March and are so excited to have you here. At that time, you were sharing with me that you had started your business just like 16 months before and had already won a pretty big award. So I want to say congratulations because you won Best in Home Care in Richmond, Virginia, right?
Yes, ma'am, we did. And
tell us about that.
After only being in business 16 months. So I thought that was pretty awesome for us.
Wow, that is pretty awesome. So 16 months. Let me do the math on that because I'm thinking 16 months ago, we were about to head into something pretty unprecedented.
Yeah. And, you know, with COVID hitting everybody, that fortunately, it didn't affect my business because people want to keep their loved ones at home. And that's what we do. We provide services anywhere you call home. And that could be an apartment, it could be an assisted living, a SNF, or actually your own home. So that's, COVID was actually a good thing for us. You know, with people not wanting to go into communities because they would be isolated, the socialization is down, you can't see your loved ones. And in some communities, you still can't see your loved ones. So this was an added benefit to the families in our communities here to be able to do these things for them.
But Cathy, you didn't take it lightly. You talked about some pretty significant structures that you put in place for your employees as they were going into a shift and leaving a shift. Can you tell our viewers about that? Because you actually went and met each employee,
yeah,
right?
Before we actually accepted COVID clients. And so we had to do some certain things to meet compliances with the CDC to make sure that everybody was safe and covered. So one of the things that we did was when we had a caregiver that was going to someone with COVID, I met them before every shift. We took their temperature, we provided them with their PPE, got them dressed, talked about some of the things that were going on in the home, and then sent them in to do their shift. And then at the end of the shift, I met them again, took the dirty PPE, we took their temperature, kind of talked about how you feel, what's going on, are you good to go? And we did that at the beginning and the ending of every shift for every client that we serviced with COVID. It was just something that we felt like we needed to do, keep our caregivers safe, but also provide a valuable service to people who were suffering not only with brain change, but the cooties on top of that. So it worked.
So now I've got dementia, I've got this brain change happening, and now we're dealing with COVID. And in that, you were able to really find success. So I mentioned that you had this, you had won this award, Best in Home Care in Richmond, but I want to back up a little bit because a lot of times people share their experiences with first hearing about TIPA, and you heard about TIPA and then found out about this coach certification that you got, and we'll talk about that. But you first found out about TIPA, it was actually a prize. TIPA was a prize package.
Yes, it was.
Tell us about that.
Our owner went to an owner's meeting. It was shortly after we had opened our doors. And one of the things that he won as a door prize was TIPA's educational kit. And he gave it to me. So, and I was just thrilled to death to have it. I had been working, before I came here, I was an executive director in an assisted living that had a memory support center. And nobody, including myself, knew really much about dementia. It was more herding them into a locked environment and just babysitting. And that, that doesn't work. Didn't work for me. I didn't like it, but I didn't know what to do about it. So when I got this educational kit, it was just like, oh, wow, I had missed out on so much for so long. And it was just a pleasure. We knew that we wanted to do something that would set us apart from every other home company in Virginia. And we found out that dementia was a way to do it. Eric's sister had just been diagnosed with dementia. He was curious. I was curious. So it just made sense. And the more we got into it, the more we learned, the more we wanted to learn. And then it was, we want to share with others. So
it sounds like, Cathy, that online learning kit that you got as this prize really met a need that, even though you had worked in the industry for years, there were pieces of this that you didn't know what you didn't know. And
right.
what was it about the videos or the TPA's approaches or philosophy that really made you want to dive deeper? What was different about Positive Approach to Care?
One of the things was that it was basic human needs, and figuring out how to do that. And, still understanding that people living with dementia are still people, and they still have needs and they have wants. They just express those needs and wants in a different way. So we had to come to their level. Instead of trying to bring them back into my world, I had to get into their world. And it opened my eyes to a lot of things of what these people are living with. And I don't want to say they're poor people, because they're not. They have a lot to offer still. It's just in a different way. And being able to draw that out and enhance it and show their families that their loved ones are still there. We just have to dig a little deeper to find them where they are right now. So it was really eye-opening. It brought a lot of happiness to me, but it also brought a lot of sadness, because I realized I had missed out on so much, and I had left a lot of people in a memory center wanting and needing and not getting.
Yeah, Cathy, that's such a great point. I think it's something that really sets PAC apart, is that, a lot of dementia scales and philosophies really look at these deficits. And what you saw was, this person's still there. What can I do to provide the care and support that they need? And how can I bring that back to our team? And you mentioned Eric, who's the owner of your franchise, and you guys kind of partnered up and said, this is how we want our staff to approach dementia care.
Right.
And part of that was you getting a coach certification, right?
Absolutely. And I know poor Catherine, she had 3 days of misery with me, because I'm just a North Carolina country girl.
Kathy,
But
come
it was so
on.
much
I had
fun.
3 days of inspiration and fun and heart. You are so heart first. You are a heart first person. And I am also, so I get it. I maybe have a little more head, so I can balance a little bit.
Yeah.
And you were able in mentoring to really simplify, figure out what's going to work for you, work your skills. And then now that you just had your first recertification, it's been an honor and a privilege to see how you have been able to grow and specialize those skills to suit the actual needs of all the people that you try to support: families, professional care partners, and the people living with dementia. And I have witnessed you figuring that out as you grow your PAC skills as a coach. So that is an honor on my part, that I was just a piece of your journey, just a little bit of a support in your journey.
It's been such a wonderful journey, and I am looking forward to getting more certifications, learning more and more, and sharing more and more. That's really what it's all about, is making people aware.
Hey, Cathy,
Yes.
I'm thinking from what I just heard on the segment before you, I'm wondering if consultant might be a good fit for you. Really?
You know, I was actually teetering between that and trainer, but I do like the consultant role. It opens up a whole lot of different things, and it doesn't pigeonhole you. It just makes the holes even bigger so you can go where you want to go.
Well, here as your mentor, if you don't mind me, if anybody else is out there going like, which one is right for me if I'm here or there, I am going to go a little outside of the PAC box and say, I kind of have a thought that might be considered an opinion. Knowing who you are and the people you serve, knowing that you are so heart first, you want to help things be better, which is a tendency maybe toward trying to fix.
Yeah.
I know you. That's what the consultant thing can do, because you're working with different stakeholders and you're working in a very specific environment, mostly the home, but you go into different environments and how time is spent. So those are parts of the six pieces of the 6 pieces of the puzzle that we can change, that I know you are managing all the time. And so far you've been managing a lot of skills and some awareness, a little bit of knowledge and skills. Yeah. And you've been bringing that together and you have found success. So next step for you, trainer consultant. Trainer brings more awareness and knowledge, less skill, and consultant brings some awareness and knowledge and problem solving.
Empowering.
Doing the problem solving.
Empowering.
Sounds like you guys are going to have a follow-up conversation. But I want to ask your perspective, Catherine, since we get to have you here as her mentor, and we don't always have the mentors on. So this is really cool to have you, Catherine. I'm curious. So we keep talking about this award that they won, and I'm not blowing smoke. I mean, that is a phenomenal success to go from inception, 16 months, and get this award of best home care. That doesn't just happen, to get voted best home care in your area. And Cathy, you shared a couple of skills that you use where PAC has changed your practice. And I want to talk more about that hand under hand and what you do with that. But I'm also curious from Catherine's perspective, seeing you when you first went through the course and then a year later with recertification, what do you think has contributed to the success that Cathy's brought to her team, that Cathy and her team have had?
First thing that comes to mind, practice. Straight up practice. Because Cathy did not just go through this course, learn the coaching cycle, practice the skills. She went right into building new habits and how she interacts with people, using PPA in all her interactions with different people, using the skills, building the skills by using them. And she has a great deal of self-awareness and seeing other people's point of view. And I think that is what has helped her grow. Cathy, am I speaking? Does that sound accurate?
Point on, yes. Pretty accurate.
That's what I've noticed, seeing her, especially working with her in her first big chunk of learning and then following up. And we've had some other interactions, is that it really is that practice, that it is breaking old habits, building new ones. And what was really, I think, helpful for her is that this business was new. So they didn't have as many old habits. Here's how we always do it. This is how we do it. She was literally at the cert course like, I'm so sorry, there's an emergency. And she would run out and take a call and come back in and get back up to speed, not disregarding what was important. But she was able to immediately say, this is new. I want this to translate. So she actually didn't have to go back and break some old established, even not her own habits, but this is how we do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a great point, Catherine. And if anything, maybe that was kind of a blessing in the way that your organization was starting at that time and with COVID, because what makes coaching different, and we've done our little hand signals and this idea of skill building. Cathy, you talked about having been an administrator and worked in this industry. And part of what coaching, PAC coaching skills is, as a coach, breaking the old habits that I have as a leader, as a coach, as a mentor. And Teepa talks about these, negative nagger and cheery cheerleader and absentee landlords as these coaching tendencies. And instead with PAC coaching, really putting it to the person. What do you think went well? How do you think that went? What are 2 positives and 1 thing you want to work on? Was that a natural transformation for you as a coach, or did you tend towards one of those other tendencies, cheery cheerleader or something like that?
Yeah, I did. It took me a while to break those habits because I've always wanted to encourage my caregivers and people to work for me to always strive to go a little bit better. And so it was more of a rah cheerleader type thing. Now it's more of a matter of fact. This is the way we need to do it. Let me show you how. Let's practice. Let's put it into play. And it's worked for us. It's worked for us.
So you can be a heart first. I was doing that heart first, but also really the perspective of, as your staff members, how do you feel like that was going? And it sounds like those end of shift, PPE and breakdown debriefing sessions also allowed you to, in the moment, hey, what went well on this shift and what's something you want to work on? And that accountability of, hey, we're here, we're standing out by the car. Do you want to practice with me? That accountability piece of PAC coaching that's so important too. So sounds like you really rolled those skills into it and it's paid off.
It has, and I think that's what set us apart from all of the other home care companies in the Richmond area. It's the fact that we practice, and we do what we preach.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of follow-up. I'm always in homes checking in on them when they're working and they don't know I'm coming. So, I'll let the families know I'm going to drop in today. I'm going to just check on so-and-so. Let's see what they're doing. And I think my caregivers enjoy it. When they see me coming, they know that we're going to probably try to do something different. I'm going to watch, we're going to learn, and we're going to take it to the next level. And I think that's helped too. Always being present, not just having a name or somebody to call, but actually being present. And that carries a long way.
And it sounds like, Cathy, sort of part of the PAC coaching model that I'm hearing from you is that when you show up, you're not a threat. You're there to celebrate. Let's watch and see what's going well, and let's see what we can work on, instead of, what's she doing wrong? It's, what are you doing right? And yet,
I always want it to be positive.
Yes, exactly, which is what I know about you. That's why I'm bringing it up. So that, because sometimes when people hear, I'm just going to drop by unannounced to watch, that's like, amygdala, oh my God, threat. But you're not a threat. You're the other way. It's like, oh, good, she's coming. She's going to look for something. We're going to work together to even get better and celebrate what's going well. And I know that's what you do. So I wanted to.
Yes, that's exactly what we do. And
that's why they get excited that you're coming, not threatened by it.
And again, that's one of the things that sets us apart and makes our caregivers a little better than some that are being offered by other agencies, is because they know we care. They know we want them to be successful. We want them to move forward and to go into different things if that's what they want. But again, just being here in the present for them and always being there. And, you know, another thing that helps us is I answer my phone 24/7, sleep with it by the bed. So if my caregivers know, if they're, doesn't matter if they're on third shift and they have a problem, they have a question, an issue, call me. I might be a little groggy, but you know what? We'll get through it. And I want to be there for it. It's not an 8 to 5 job.
No, it's definitely not an 8 to 5 job. And Catherine, I'm so glad you brought that up, because when I heard Cathy say that idea that she goes out unannounced, I mean, I think for a lot of folks, there is that amygdala response. But what I heard from Cathy here and in our previous discussions was that your staff really feels valued and supported, and that you're investing in them versus coming out to do, you know, this at them. Because folks want to do better. I mean, right?
You know, and people don't understand caregiving is a calling. It's not something that you're going to make a lot of money at. It's just not. You have to have that passion and that want to do it. And that's what I look for when I'm hiring caregivers. I want to find that passion. I don't want somebody who's just in it to get a paycheck at the end of the week. I want somebody who really cares about the people that we're working with and working for. That makes a big difference. And it's also encourages them to learn more, because they do care and they are passionate and they do want to do the best. So
they do. And Cathy, you know, you talked about this idea that it doesn't always pay financially, but one of the biggest rewards that we get in this work and these callings that we have is those aha moments, those success stories. And you shared one about a client of yours and a caregiver, Brenda, I think it was. Can you share this story with our viewers?
We have a client that has Lewy body dementia, and it's advancing pretty quickly. When we started providing in-home care for her, she was virtually nonverbal because nobody knew how to communicate with her. It was just sit her in a chair and leave her there. Even her poor husband, and they'd been married for years, he was at his wit's end. He didn't know what to do. We have a very special caregiver that works with us, Brenda, and we've used her quite a bit since we've opened. But she actually went into the home. She and I did a little one-on-one about Lewy body, of what to expect, what not to expect, how they can interact. She is working with our client now. Our client is actually becoming a little more verbal. Everybody is understanding more of what she wants, because we're more in tune into reading expressions and trying to discover needs and wants rather than just sitting there. But it has been so rewarding, even for her family, just to be able to see a little bit of light come back to our client. I'm trying real hard not to say her name. It's just
thank you. Yeah, I understand confidentiality. We do want to brag on your care partner and Brenda, but you know,
it's amazing. Just amazing.
You talked about that this person, your client, is at risk for falls. And so a traditional care partner may come in, and the focus is working on keeping that person safe and not falling, which we know falls happen, okay? But instead, what Brenda did was, instead of focusing on not falling, she's focused on seeing your client for who she is and making that connection with who she is versus this fall focus, right? I mean, what a success story.
You know, it is. And, you know, as we age, all of us are going to fall. That's part of the normal aging. But learning how to work around those things and still give somebody a positive outcome at the end of the day and make them feel good, and to see them smile, and to have the families come up and say, thank you, we couldn't have done it without you. And that's what they're saying to my caregivers. And to me, that is very rewarding. It lets me know, one, I've made a good hire, but secondly, I've given her some good training, and she has taken the ball and she has run with it. And now we've made yet another difference in somebody else's life. And then their whole
And that is why you're the go-to home care in Richmond. That right there. I mean, I just feel like we should
That's
just
it.
do a mic drop right now. Like, okay, I don't even have anything else to say, but I do want to mention, Cathy, you talked about one of the pieces that you've brought into your practice that's different with PAC skills is this hand under hand skill. So can you tell our viewers about how you've used hand under hand to assist with your clients and teaching that to families?
Actually, hand under hand was the most wonderful thing to ever learn. It's just awesome. And I do it even with people who don't have dementia. It's just a great way to connect and to support and let them know that you're there without being this threatening force. But using hand under hand has helped so much. It's helped my caregivers to know how to coax people to get things done with them instead of doing to them, but doing with. But it's also been fun to show families, why don't we try it this way and see if it'll help a little bit better. And it does. Even the families are thrilled to have some way to connect. Now, one of my things that I'm still working on is I'm a leaner. I'm not a kneeler. I'm a leaner. And so I'm always having to catch myself, don't lean in. And again, working with families, get to more of a supportive stance. Use your hand under hand. Don't be threatening. Keep a smile on your face. Let them know that you're there. It's just been a world of difference. And we're even starting to share what we're learning with the general public and other professionals. We developed a series of 7 workshops based on dementia, starting with the 10 warning signs and ending up with hand under hand. We do them the second Thursday of every month. And we've had anywhere from 100 to 150 people join our workshops just off of word of mouth of what we've done. And it's,
Wow.
I mean, I've got people they're not just Virginians. We've got people from California, Florida, New York, every which way you can think coming in to watch our workshops. And
Okay, Cathy, I might change my vote. Maybe you should go trainer next. I don't know.
Well, I really want to do both. So it's just.
Of course you do.
So what Catherine just showed is this idea of gathering more information in order to help you make a decision. And so a piece of information that maybe she didn't know or forgot was, man, you're not only coaching your staff and consulting with families, but you're actually taking this out and offering it in the community. And I mean, you have really done in 16 months what it takes years to do. And by the way, you did all this in the middle of a global pandemic. So Cathy,
thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, but we all know that Eric and I could not have done it without the positive approach to care. We both latched onto it, him for more personal reasons, me for business reasons, but in partnering with you guys, it has made a difference. It makes a difference every single day in every client we serve.
Man, I can't say it better than that. Thank you, Cathy. And it is a partnership, and we want it to be a partnership. This isn't, as Matthew and Carrie come back on and we wrap up and talk about some upcoming things, this isn't just you come to our course, you leave with certification and bye-bye, we'll see you in a couple of years. This is a partnership. And that's why we started Straight Up Positive, is all about being a partner with you and coming back to you a year later and saying, dang, you're doing some really amazing work, and we want to share your shine. So thank you, Cathy. Thank you, Eric, behind the scenes. Thanks for letting us share your shine tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
It's been my honor too, Cathy, to see you figure it out. I didn't do it. You did.
Oh, I couldn't have done it without a little coaching from you. So a little coaching.
Okay, maybe a little bit of input, but I'm just the other part of PAC. But it's you. you've made it your own. And that as a mentor, as I speak for all mentors in PAC, we all try to do the same kind of thing, is just give you the right setting and the right care to shine, but you are really shining. And to see you grow, that's the one thing as a mentor who gets to see someone from course, mentoring, research.
Yeah, it's been an
So exciting and
amazing journey for me. So
And so you are so valuable and treasured in this community for not just the work you do, but for your commitment to growth and taking it more steps further and growing those minds of culture change one at a time. And you are doing it, Cathy. My
that's the
respect
best
is
way, just one at a time,
huge.
and make it happen. Thank you.
Hitting all the feels. I mean, come on now.
Cathy, I know that was really hard for you because you are such a heart first person to not be on camera. I bet you have just been like chomping at the bit. So what you got for us? You got some love for us?
Oh, well, I mean, it's just like Catherine said, really, it's that big piece of watching all of these gems out there shine, and our greatest privilege and pleasure to be able to be a part of Straight Up Positive, to do that, you know, because it wasn't really that before. And now we have this opportunity to show what amazing things are going on out there and the amazing people behind them. And Cathy, you are one of those amazing people, the jewels in the crown, right?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all your hard work and your dedication.
And next week we have another bright, shiny gem, one of our fellow mentors. Tell us who's going to be on next week, Matthew.
Yeah, so Allie's coming on, and I had the pleasure of working with Allie actually in something that we call Apprentice Days. Her and I went through it together to become PAC mentors, and so that's where I got a chance to meet Allie for the first time. And what an amazing gem she is, and all of the things that she's doing where she's at. So it'll be so great to see her. And she has a partner. Ooh, and I need some help. I could use some help on her partner's name.
Looks like Carrie's got your support that you're needing right now, Matthew.
Oh, thank you. I knew she had something in the wings ready to go to help support me.
Yeah, so we have Allie Groves and Catherine Winter of Carleton Senior Living next week. Ooh, looking forward to that.
Nice. Nice. Well, thank you, everyone. Come back next week and watch us bring to light another shining gem out there in the community. And I'm also hoping to get, you know, Carrie is, we kind of reluctantly bring her to the screen more, and where she tends to like behind the scenes stuff. And another one of our colleagues that's like that is Rachel. Some of you may have seen Rachel on some of TIPA's webinars. She does a lot with TIPA role playing, and I'm trying to get Rachel to come on because, again, I'm going to talk about conference for a second. Rachel and I have been meeting with and connecting with people who are living with the diagnosis of dementia who want to be a part of our conference. And we've had 12 meetings so far of people that are going to come and share their story at conference. And I wanted to just bring Rachel on to talk about that. So peer pressure Rachel, you guys, since, you know, this isn't really her thing. Did I just publicly tell you to peer pressure Rachel?
You did. It'd be even worse if I told him exactly how to do that too, but I won't go that far. But definitely,
Rebecca.
You have connection with Rachel.
Because Rachel is a bright, shining gem in our organization, and we don't get to hear from her that much. And so I'm hoping she'll come on with us next week and share some of the shine that she's got, and kind of highlight some of the shine that we're going to be bringing at conference from folks who are living with brain change who want to tell their story. So check us out. Hopefully next week we'll have Rachel on for that as well.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
I'll work her.
Oh, okay.
We'll see
Teamwork makes the
Catherine.
dream work.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
All right, guys, we'll see you back next week. Stay positive.